figuring out the different expectations. But the general idea is we're going to add an astronaut.
It's a teddy bear.
Yeah, I made mine a teddy bear. Of course, you guys can make yours cats, dogs, unicorns, dragons. I don't care what kind of astronaut it is. The main thing we're going to be learning, though, is how do we make that helmet clear and glass-like and still make it like not invisible? Since,
right.
Yeah, our astronaut needs protection against outer space. So I have all mine in folders because I have to keep everything separate week to week and show you like, oh yeah, there's week 2 we did planets, week 3 we did that. But if you have yours all flattened down, that's fine. I am going to make a new layer for my sketch. I'll name it sketch. Or maybe I'll leave this one up so we can see what we're doing. And then I'll draw another one next to it. So I'm going to get a sketch color that I can see against my background. That's probably going to be something light and bright. I'm going to choose a light green, neon green. Try to get these zoom windows out of the way. And use my navigator magnifying glass to get up close. And I'm going to start sketching out first how big I want the glass helmet. If you don't want to sketch it out and you'd rather just use the ellipse tool, which we got to use a lot with our rocket, you can go ahead and just say, hey, there's my helmet right there. That's fine too. And it can be circle, square, it can be like a bell jar shape, it can be however you like it. But at the bottom of it, we need to section off an oval, just like the portion of your t-shirt that your head goes through. We need a spot for our astronaut's head to go through. And again, if you'd rather use that ellipse tool, you can take your ellipse and you can make an ellipse at the bottom. And since this is just a sketch, we can sketch the head right inside the helmet. So again, you can make cat, dog, dragon, panda, grasshopper. I don't really care what you're going to make for your astronaut. We just want to have some kind of face inside. So I'm going to make mine a teddy bear. If you get confused between the lines, you can always swap your colors over to a different color and say, okay, the green is the astronaut suit and the yellow is my teddy bear. I'm going to let you just go ahead and sketch out the face of your astronaut for another 3 minutes. 2 more minutes. Although if you get done early, just let me know and we'll continue on.
Mine's just a sketch, but it's a sketch.
All right, it's enough to continue, then we will continue. So next I'm going to add a body, and again, this might change shape depending on if you have a chubby little teddy bear like me, or you might have a long crocodile. But we're just going to make this body portion first. And to make it look somewhat like a spacesuit, I'm going to add this little control panel on the side. But I don't want to make it a perfect straight square because it flattens out my drawing. So I want to think about how this body is rounded. You can give yourself contour lines if it helps. Think of this as round. Round. So depending on where I put my control panel, it's probably going to curve a little bit with the body to make it look like it's on that spacesuit. And you can add a couple of knobs or buttons. Just remember that circle buttons will be ovals because we have foreshortening happening. It's turning away from us. Or if you do square buttons, they have to follow that same curve. So you can do one or both. Next, I'm going to add this leg right here. And astronaut suits are very bulky and, oh, Stephanie's here. Let's let her in. Very bulky. We're not going to see a lot of the anatomy of our little animal. Oh, Stephanie's asking me trouble with Zoom. No, but I think she's going to be here any minute, so. Actually, let me stop my screen momentarily. Oh, no, wait, there she's popping up. I think it's okay. Very bulky suit, not form-fitting. So our shapes are going to be very simple. Almost like a plush toy. If you're saying anything, Stephanie, you're muted, just so you know.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
I
Welcome.
was just about to reply to your text there. You made it.
Oh, did you see my? Yeah, I don't know. It was having issues. Okay.
But you're
So
here
how'd
now.
you get that starship on that and everything?
Last week.
That was last week, yeah.
Oh, cute. Okay,
We got the
no
video
problem.
up, though. Yeah, we got the video up. You can look at it anytime.
Yeah, I did mine today.
Yeah, Kristen caught up
Then
today.
maybe I'll just do a foyer today and just watch y'all.
All right,
Okay.
you could.
Mhm.
The other foot. No, let's add the details this one first. So just to make it look more like a spacesuit, I'm going to add a little knee pad on here. And again, I don't want to make this in straight lines like a square because that flattens out our drawing. So I'm going to want to decide, is this leg curving this way? And I'm going to see the bottom of the foot. Or I have to decide, is it going to curve a little bit this way? And I won't see the bottom of the foot. Whichever way you want it to go, we just don't want it straight. So I'm going to curve it a little bit down, curve it a little bit down, and that's going to be my knee pad. Then I'm going to add a little emblem, I don't know, little oval for no reason to make it look techie. Right where the brand of your sneaker would go. And if you want to, you can add a little bumpy sole to the boot portion. If you don't like that, don't add it. Not a big deal. I'm going to pause there for a minute. For the other leg, you can see the bottom of the boot portion is going to be right towards us, and this leg is going to be lifted. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the part that connects to the suit first, the thigh. I'm going to put the knee coming up this way. I'll erase everything behind just to keep it clear. And then I'll put an oval at the end. Remember, this leg is going to look shorter because it's coming towards us. Anytime we have something that's tilting forward, tilting back, tilting away from the camera, it's going to get shorter. I'll get the general shape of the bottom of the boot. If you want to put a little indent for the arch of the foot, you can do that, a little bit more of a jelly bean shape. Or just keep it simple. Simple is good too. And we're going to see a little bit of the top of the boot. So I'm going to erase that little portion right there and just get a sliver of a line in there like that. And again, I'll pause here so you can make any adjustments you need to make.
Who's whistling?
Not I.
Not
Whistling
me.
women and crowing hens never come to a good end, right? Okay.
Usually we have Mikey kind of singing in the background, or often we do, but she's not here yet.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that won't work. Man, I haven't done this for a while.
Yeah, it takes lots of.
It's like I forgot even how to get a piece of paper.
That would be file new.
I got it. I got it. I got it.
Okay. Okay.
But it took a while.
Yeah, it took a while to remember. Yeah, like get that thing I wanted. And the same details. You might not be able to see as much, but I'm going to put a little oval for the emblem or a little doodad. Add a little detail there. And I have to think of the knee pad curving around this knee right on the top here. In fact, I'll use a different color just so you can see it a little better. Maybe not. And I'm going to put a little more of a twist on my teddy bear astronaut than I did on this one. This one, both arms are the same. It looks very flat. Not great. So this time I'm going to make one arm that goes behind the body. Just a little rounded stump, just like a plush animal. And I'm going to add a few curved lines just to show like the difference between the glove portion and the sleeve portion. Then the other arm we're going to see coming right out from the suit here. Goes right over the helmet, kind of waving hello. You can see how much bigger this one is, especially at the end. What's that?
I'm trying to delete, and I go down here to the trash can, and it's not letting me.
Not letting you. Let's see your screen. I'm going to stop my share, and if you would share your screen.
Remember how to freaking do that?
I know every new thing. It's like, oh man, where's the eraser? How do I share my screen?
I remember that.
Stop sharing my screen.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm showing the whole desktop.
That's fine.
Okay, that is that okay?
Yeah.
No.
And then as soon as you bring up your FireAlpaca window, I'll be able to see. All right.
Work. So I go here, I go there, and it's not.
Oh, that's because you only have one layer, so you can't get rid of all of your. You have to make a new one first. But are you just trying to delete so you can start over?
Yes.
Okay, then just go ahead and hit Command A.
C.
And get the whole.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, just
Got
delete
it.
the whole thing.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
I just have to figure out how to get you back. Okay, I got your picture, but not your work.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my sharing screen then, and it'll automatically
maybe
stop yours.
Okay,
Probably
good.
what I need.
Thanks.
There we go.
Okay. There we go. Okay, I got you back.
Excellent.
Okay.
Erase out my arm shape here. And this time when I put on those lines to separate the glove from the sleeve, I can't go in the same direction. I can't go that way. I want it to come toward me. I'm going to make those curves curve downward. And we are ready to start filling in the basic colors, because as you can see with our other parts of our drawing, the planets, we had no black lines. Our rocket, we had no black lines. Normally in art class, we go, okay, time to ink, but not this time because everything in
No.
our drawing has no black lines. So we're going to lighten up our sketch by taking that opacity of the layer down. And as you go down, 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 you can see it disappearing into space. You want it just barely visible. Especially in my case, teddy bear, barely visible. I gotta stop with the puns. My sister's always rolling her eyes at me. Oh boy, here we go. Barely there.
Yes, barely.
Then I'm going to get a new layer, and I'm going to call this spacesuit. So you can guess which color is going to go on here, my spacesuit color. Instead of getting pure white, I want to take it back over, and it doesn't matter if you're doing light green, light blue, light whatever, but we don't want a pure white just because it's difficult to deal with. So I'm going to get a very light kind of aqua color here. I'm going to make sure my pencil is set to the pen mode, which sounds ridiculous. How can your pencil be set to the pen mode? But that's digital art for you. And I'm going to start either just filling in or outlining the spacesuit. Not the helmet, just the spacesuit. And we really only care about the silhouette, the outline right now.
Can you talk and draw at the same time?
Only after
There you go.
years of practice.
I pulled up circle, trying to let the computer make a circle for its little thing there. And all I get is this graph with only like a quarter of a circle.
Half of a quarter of a circle. Let's take a look at that.
You're hitting the snap circle instead.
I think you're doing the snap circle, yeah.
I've done that. Awful.
So where do, so,
Oh, do you want me to show you? Let's see. That's
so
all.
what circle do?
Yeah,
That's what I did. It was,
it's slightly different on mine because I know I'm working on a PC and you're working on a Mac. But when you have your drawing tool, your pencil, up here there should be a pull down menu that says freehand, and then you have options for line, polygon, polygon.
yes,
You want the ellipse.
rectangle.
That's the fancy art word for circles and ovals, the ellipse.
Oh, cool. So now how do I get rid of that snap thing? I'll figure that out.
You're gonna click the off button, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
I
can
still
make
got a,
whatever kind of
still have
ellipse
a
you want.
white thing here. Let's see if that's a dot.
I'm going to move my spacesuit color layer below my sketch layer just so I can see where I put my little control panel and little spacesuit details. And I'm going to make a new layer for space suit doodads. And we'll
Okay,
use it.
Betsy.
Yeah.
It makes a circle, and the minute I take my finger off of it, that's because I'm using a mouse, maybe. Okay, never mind. And I can't get rid of that white paper from the snap thing.
Let's take a look at your screen. This sounds like a variety of problems.
Hope I'm not slowing you up there.
No, we got plenty of time. We're not even halfway through here. You got your ellipse, okay.
Yes, the minute I take my finger off, my pin off, it goes away. And then I got this white thing here.
The white thing is your paper. The gray is like your table. So you're trying to draw on the table. and it's not letting you.
Oh boy. And it's still disappearing. Look, watch.
That is strange. So let's see. You've got it set on. Oh, you're on the eraser tool. That's why. So you're going to go up
What?
and click the
Oh, piss.
pencil tool
Okay. What?
on the left here. On the top with all those little different like icons. You want
There
that
we go.
pencil. There you go. And then you're on black, you're on
I get
pen. And you
There
should
we
be able
go.
to draw
Thank
on that.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.
Good job. Share button. Yay.
Yeah.
Boy, have I forgotten a lot.
Yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it. It's just one of them things.
Yeah. Sometimes even I lose it. So, okay. Mm.
All right, so just to recap, I've got my spacesuit color on one layer. I've got a new layer that I called Spacesuit Doodads, but you can just call it Spacesuit 2 or Details or whatever you want. But we're going to use the clipping feature. Clipping feature, as we remember, let me do a little demonstration here. Let's say I drew on my Spacesuit Doodads layer and I drew a line all the way across. If I click the clipping option, this little checkbox here in the middle, you can see it clips it to the pixels below. So nothing will go outside of my spacesuit. So that's handy. Let me get rid of that red line now. There we go. So I'm going to make sure that clipping is on, and I will get a slightly darker color than my spacesuit. No black lines. I'm just going to fill in that little control panel. Take my sketch off. Don't need that anymore. There's the shape of my little control panel. And just like we did with the rocket, I'm going to protect alpha, which basically means protect the drawing that I already have there. Don't let me draw outside that shape. I'm going to get my airbrush. Make my color a little darker by drawing an L in my color picker. And then on one side, I'll just add a little shading. And it'll make it look like a piece of chiclet gum or a bit like a pillow. I'm going to repeat that same process with the knee pads. So I'm going to get my slightly darker color, make sure I'm on the pen, not the pen fade in and out, just regular pen. Make sure my protect alpha is not checked so I can draw new pixels. So this is what I have on my color right now. I'm going to protect that.
That was a big one.
Protect that alpha, get my airbrush, darker shading color, and start spraying that airbrush on one side. Make them puff out 3D style. Same thing for the divider between the sleeve and the gloves. I'm going to put down the stripe right here, following my sketch. Take my sketch off so you can see what I'm doing. Then I'm going to protect those pixels so I can get my airbrush and darken one side, actually both sides. Will just be shiny in the middle. And I'll pick some colors for the bottom of the boots, the sole. Maybe I want those a little bit purpley. Again, I just get my pen tool, separate off the color. And there's that little emblem on the ankles. Oops, I forgot to make the other sole bumpy. I'm going to go back to my original spacesuit layer and add those bumps. Same thing, and get that airbrush, get a darker purple. Just make one side dark and let the other side be light. For the bottom of the shoe, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to shrink my airbrush down to maybe 15. Would that be good? Yeah, we'll do 15. And up in our menu where we choose ellipse when we want to draw ovals and circles, I'm going to choose line. So I can only draw straight lines now, and I'm going to make kind of like little treads by just making lines anytime I see a dip. Maybe a little bit darker color. Then we're going to get into the trickier bits. So on my
Trickier?
It's only because you have to select. So on my original sketch, there's a line between the body and the leg. And when I take off that sketch, it loses that definition. And I want to put that back, but I can't use lines. If I can't use lines, I have to use shading. But if I just use my airbrush and just do this, it looks a little weird. It just looks like another line. So what I'm going to do is take my lasso tool, which looks a little bit like a peanut in your tool selection. And I'm going to make that curve where the leg and the body meet. So I've got these two little triangle sections. And then I'll get my airbrush and just color in the middle part here. So we get something like that. It's still a little harsh there on the edges. That little bit of definition. Same thing on the top of the boot here. I'm going to select the top of the boot, get my airbrush, and just color in. Whoops, not on the purple though. Color in the toe of that boot. You can see it popping out away from the leg portion.
How do I save the layers? Just save, I want to save my layer 1. How do I save the layer 1?
Save it in what way? Like you just don't want it to be messed up?
Go away.
Let's see. Let me see your screen. Let's see your screen.
Alpha? Okay.
Let me see which part you're at, because I know you're catching up.
No, I'm not even trying, but I'm playing.
Just seeing. Okay, playing and practicing. That's good too. Good for a rainy day.
Yes. Well, I figured I maybe could insert it after I look at your thing.
All right, so you've got your line art on one layer and the red on the other. Is that what's happening?
I just have this. I don't have anything there yet. I was going to put the stars and stuff here.
Okay, so take off the protect alpha, because that only protects the drawing that you've already made, and it looks like that layer is empty, so there's nothing to protect.
Right there. Oh, I highlighted
That
layer
one.
1 and then did the protect.
Yeah, there you go. So if you want to like save everything on that layer 1, you want protect alpha on. But then on layer 2, you want to draw something new, so there's nothing to protect.
Okay, got it. Okay.
All right.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So run through that last thing again with the lasso and.
Sure. Let me back up here. Boop, boop, boop. Doop, 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 doop. Can I control Z out of here? Or maybe I'm not on FireAlpaca yet. Back up, back up, back up. Pretend we're here. There we go. So let's start with the boot right here, because that's the easiest, I think. I'm going to go to my spacesuit layer, the one that has the actual color on it, not the doodads. Oops, mine's kind of crazy because I added that later. Yeah. So I'm on my actual spacesuit color. I'm going to grab my lasso tool, and I'm going to follow the edge of this boot. You can use your sketch if it helps you, and get the edge of this boot here. Get my airbrush with a color that is darker than my suit, and just kind of spray the top of the toe here. To get rid of the dotted line, Control D for deselect. Whoops. And it should look a bit like this, where we can see the edge of the top of the foot. And then it fades that way.
Nice.
Really nice.
So we're going to try to do that with where the tummy meets the leg over here, where the body meets the leg. So I'm going to go ahead and select the leg, get my airbrush, Just kind of go along the edge here. Control D.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah, so that'll pop
So
out a
your
little bit.
airbrush color is the suit darkened.
Yeah, whenever I need a darker color, I just kind of make the letter L in
Oh, okay.
my color picker and it'll give me a darker color. Later on, we'll get into more advanced shading colors, but for now, draw an L.
Okay, so I go back to the one that is the actual suit.
Yep, the actual suit layer, so it won't color over your doodads.
And I draw where I want this thing to happen.
Yeah.
And I get my airbrush and my color. Well, okay, that's a good color. I don't want that color. Baffled, but first I have a color that I'm going to use. Okay, and I'm going to darken it. And do this glass. And I'm going to get my airbrush. I'm glad this is just practice.
Yeah, just practice. What's even better, we start all over next week anyway. Back to galaxies and stars with a little extra. Not that it's the exact same lesson, but we'll get to practice a lot of what we already did when we first did our galaxy. And a little extra. Yeah.
Where I get my butt here. No, no, no.
If you're still working on your airbrush shadows, that's fine, but I just want to let you know that for your actual astronaut's head, you're going to need a new layer, and we're going to fill it in just like we did the spacesuit.
Okay, new layer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to go.
It's going to go below my spacesuit because I don't want it on top of all the things I drew already. So I'm going to put that head underneath my spacesuit layers and my sketch layer.
Oh, wait a minute. One of my layers disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, something else happened?
Yeah, I was playing.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to mine. It's gone.
Oh, let's see.
Well,
there's nothing to see because it's gone.
There's nothing to see. I'm going to try to control these and see if it comes. Well, I don't know. Gone. No, oh, that is so discouraging.
Let's see. Can you share your screen? Maybe it's
Is there
in
a
a folder or
redo
something?
thing that, because now I've just blonked out all but a whole
Yeah.
bunch of stuff.
up
What's the redo?
up by file and edit those. There's those arrows. One goes backwards, one goes forwards. Or you can hit Control Y repeatedly, and that'll redo it.
I'm gonna at least get a few things back. Let's get rid of that layer. Things were better before that, but that it's just not there anymore.
I have never heard of this happening. A whole layer disappeared? Is that what happened?
I guess it did because it was my sketch layer.
Did it get moved into a folder?
No. Let's keep going. I'll do it again.
You'll just watch the video again.
I don't want to waste a lot of time. Yeah, that was a nice drawing.
Don't worry, I'm wasting plenty because I can't remember how to do most of this stuff.
Let me share my screen and show you one problem I have.
Sure.
That I don't get really. That all along, I get this little black line when I fill in my shape.
You still got your screen.
That's with the paint bucket settings. Can you click on your paint bucket and let me see what it's set to?
Paint bucket. There it is.
Yeah. Up at the top where it says expand and it's on 0, turn that to 1 or 2, and that will fill in that little line.
Good. Next time I won't have that problem. It screwed me up. Okay. All right. So that was very helpful.
All right.
You can see that my
It's getting there. There's just no head.
head.
Ah.
It was a cute little head.
That-
Too.
And it was a cute little head, huh?
I
I
was
don't know
thinking
what
of
happened.
doing that, and then I couldn't figure out how to do that because I had his head turning. He needed to go another way, but you got it figured out, Kristen.
I'm not going to spend any time on the details of the head because the important part of this lesson was how to make the glass helmet.
All right,
So I'm going to
good.
skip to that part.
Let's do that.
Let me lighten up my sketch here. Why are you not lightening up, Sketch? You're supposed to. You're not turning off either. That's weird.
There's a delay in your thing too. When you draw a line, it comes up after your cursor has been moved somewhere. I noticed.
Oh, I'm going to turn or close my file and reopen it because something's bugging out. Let's see if I can do it now. Take down my sketch. There we go. All right, so I'm taking down my sketch so I can barely see it. And I can draw over it on a new layer. This I'm going to call glass. They probably make them out of plastic, but I'm just going to call it glass. I'm going to turn my pencil to ellipse because I want to draw an ellipse. I'm going to get a very light gray or light blue, whichever you prefer. And I'll make my ellipse pretty close to what I originally had. Whoops, if it's super thick and you don't want it super thick, go back to your brush control and turn it down to like 6 or 8. It'll depend on your resolution, but we want to get it to a line about like that. Then I'm going to get my paint bucket, make sure it's on layer, expand by 1, close the gap on, and I'm going to fill that. And then I'm going to just take the opacity down a little bit, maybe to about 50%. Then I'll take my airbrush, and I want my airbrush to be almost as big as my helmet. So if you just go down to your little slider down here with your control on how big the size is, it'll show you like, whoa, way too big. And now it's getting small. So I want it almost as big as my glass. Set it to erase, which is our little checkerboard transparency. And just take out, whoops, not with the ellipse, with your freehand. Take out a little bit of the center. Just a little bit. So that if my teddy bear had a face, we could see the face a little bit better. And then we need one more layer for the highlight, and I will call it such, highlight. I'm going to get the purest of purest white way up in that left corner. Go back to my pen setting so I can do nice crisp lines. And I'm going to make a little curving, almost like a saber-toothed tiger tooth shape here. And then maybe a little square or oval above that. And then another inverted. These are just little shiny designs. You can just do like a crescent moon if you prefer. Something like this. It's just a curve. You just want some extra shiny shinies.
How is that on your same layer? The highlight.
This is a different layer from the glass.
Glass.
The reason being, if I try to draw it directly on my glass layer, see how faint they are? Because it's at 50%. If I want them white, I have to put it at 100%, but I don't want my glass at 100%, so then you can't do it. So you have to make a different layer with the highlight so it can be at 100%, and your other one is only at 50. Just so you can see the effect, I'm going to quickly doodle in some features for my little bear here. And you can use this highlight layer for anything. So if I want to put highlights on the eyes, I can do it on the same highlight layer. If I want to highlight on the nose, I can put on the same highlight layer.
What about the face you had on your original sketch?
My original sketch. Let me bring it to the top so we can see it.
You can't just plop that in there? Oh.
I could. It's pretty messy. It was easier for me just to redraw it.
Got it. Now I understand.
Yeah, but you can definitely use your sketched head for that.
I have a great helmet.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Yeah, there's no head in it.
You can see right here, the helmet goes over the arm. If you don't want it to do that, you can just move your glass layer below your spacesuit layer, and then the arm will pop in front. The beauty of layers. And look at this wonderful, wonderful outer space piece that we have made. Yeah, teddy bear in space with planets, rocket, stars.
All of it.
All of it.
Betsy.
Yes.
This is back to basic. I want to paint my dog. I used the paint bucket for the rocket and the outer space, but when I try to paintbrush a brown dog, it keeps defaulting to a black dog.
Let's see your screen. That sounds like a technical issue.
I'm sure it is.
Couldn't be user error. It just isn't. It's a technical difficulty.
No. I thought you were meaning user error. Okay. So how do I zoom? There's share screen. Lisa got that down there. Watch. See, I want brown.
Got brown. Okay. Got a bucket. And it's black. And you've got some kind of weird icon on your layer. Click the little gear on your layer 2. Let's see if that brings up something.
Oh, yeah. Why is that there?
Yeah, I've never seen that before, but I imagine that's the problem. Layer 2? No? Okay, cancel that. How about your blending's on normal, draft layer.
Maybe just delete it.
Well, what you're going to do, an easy way around this, is cancel that. You're going to make a new layer. Oh, I have a feeling that maybe, yeah, not that one. The one on the very left. That looks like a blank piece of paper. It shouldn't have an 8 or a 1 or anything on it. You're going to make that a clipping layer. So click that little box that says clipping in the middle. Yep. Now when you do your paint bucket brown, see if it'll work now.
When I hit that, there we go. Ooh, that's awful. Ah,
Yeah, now you can find the color you like and that should work. It's a
yeah, okay.
little bit clunky, but now you don't have to draw it all over again.
Right. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So, who knows what that other thing, huh? Okay.
It's because when you picked a new layer, I think you picked that number 1 layer. That's a different sort of layer for a different sort of thing. It's a masking layer. We haven't got into masking, but I think that's what it is. So that's what happened. But you can delete that one as soon as you fill in your brown. And
Okay.
then you won't have to deal with that.
There we go.
Yeah. And then turn the clipping layer off, I think.
Okay.
There we go. You're on your way.
Okay.
Just, 10 more
Thank you.
hours. It'll be great. That's what it always feels like to me. So
It won't be that long. I know that's delete.
Oh my gosh.
alrighty, that's about all the time we have for digital. Next up is teacup dragons. So hopefully we'll see you both over there.
Oh, you will. You will.
All right.